Nursing school was very interesting. It was a cool experience for me. It was not like anything I'd ever done before. I came into nursing coming from construction, and I was in the service for a little bit, and nursing was just so different. I enjoyed it. I learned that I could get out and touch people and help people and actually make a living out of it. I just everything was so different from everything else I'd done. It was new, and it was interesting and satisfying and intellectually interesting as well as emotionally interesting. What do I wish I could have learned when I was in nursing school that I didn't catch from them? I learned on my own, but it would have been cool to realize how many different paths in nursing you could take, how many options and opportunities there are. And obviously, nursing school, mine was 2 years. The students I work with are an accelerated program. They're usually quicker than that. The LPNs I'm working with are about a year or 14 months. And you just can't show them everything out there. But the more different parts of nursing you can be exposed to, the better. Some of my most satisfying things, obviously the default kind of nurse is in a hospital on a med-surg unit. That's just default nursing, and that's where I started. But I was able to work out in the ambulatory setting. Now that would have been kind of boring for a student to go out and shadow in that sort of setting. There's not a lot they could do if they had a clinical rotation out there, but maybe a couple hours. Now, I feel like I had a couple hours in the infusion center, but I don't recall exactly. But to be able to see that, and then all the different directions my career has taken me. I've gone inpatient, I've gone outpatient, I've gotten into education, and there's so many other opportunities we have. And that there's not one size fits all, there's not a single right answer way to do this. I think that's what I would have liked to have a better handle on in nursing school. I try to share that with my students now, that there are so many different ways you can make this career work for yourself. If you find one setting that really doesn't suit you, don't give up on it right away. As a new grad nurse especially, I would give any new job a year, if at all possible, before I tried something else. Just because there's so much you have to learn and so much you haven't experienced yet. And at least that first 6 months, I didn't feel like I was good for anything. I didn't feel like I was a good nurse or cut out for anything useful. You don't build any amount of proficiency until I think that first 6 month period, and maybe even a full year to get your feet underneath you. So stay with that first job for a while if you can. Now, if you can't, a lot of the different companies are making it more acceptable to move around. I know the company I worked with, originally you had to stay in your first job for a year, but they got to where you could transfer after 6 months within the company and everything would be fine. Like all your tuition reimbursement stuff would still be fine. You'd still be full-time with them. But I'd really encourage stay for that first year, but then know that there are a million opportunities. There's the bedside, there's the clinic, there's dialysis, there's home health, there is corrections is an option, education, cruise ship nurses. If there's people touching each other, there's a nurse not very far away. So I would like to make sure I impart that on anyone who's watching. You can make this career anything. The only thing you could do to really screw it up is get out of nursing altogether and go do something completely unrelated. Don't use the license anymore. That's the only thing I would see as kind of a shame and a sort of a screw up, if that makes sense. So that you could make a lot of this career and a lot of opportunities. There's remote work, there's PRN work. You can find something that'll fit your life. Stay in nursing. The only thing I don't want to see, and so many new grad nurses do this, they get in out in the world and then they think sooner than not, oh, this isn't cut out for me. I can't cope with this. I can't deal with this for whatever reason. You can find somewhere you fit into nursing. If there's any single piece of nursing that calls for you and you're not just thinking the whole time, boy, I only went to nursing school because my mother said I had to. I really want to be a banker or something. As long as you're not that person, you can make something work in nursing for you. And even if you thought you wanted to be in finance, there are so many areas of administration, healthcare administration, the business side of things you get into. There are so many opportunities in this field. Go out and do it. Don't feel like you have to jump right into a specialty or a specialized master's. I'd say if you're feeling the school thing, go ahead and get your BSN done. Those are general. The same BSN will cover whatever setting you want to get into. And then give it a little time before you go for your master's, figure out what you really want to do. But you can find something that suits you. This is Nick. This was video, I think 19, but it might be 20. I think it's video 19. I'm doing a 2 for today. You see my other video from today is just as windy and on the same place because I didn't feel good yesterday. So I'm just kind of letting my time go. We're on vacation. I'm not in any hurry to do any particular sort of thing. And that's okay. I'm giving myself a lot of grace. So thanks for tuning in.